of course, the state of Oregon. We're here this evening to grace the first town hall meeting that we have as residents of Sierra Leone, having the privilege to meet with our ambassador and, of course, the mayor of Shoreline. Most of us here have lived in Shoreline, and we are extremely grateful for the quick response from Mayor Kitkuscoli, allowing us the opportunity to use the council chamber for us to meet this evening. Can we give us a round of applause for Mayor Kitkuscoli, please? And that will let me invite Mayor Kitkuscoli to come up. Thank you. So this is Mayor Kitkuscoli. It is my greatest opportunity to call our ambassador, our president of America, representing our president of Sierra Leone. This is an opportunity that we've never had in our lives of having an ambassador visiting the Pacific Northwest. And you make it possible for us to be here to hear from our ambassador and have a Q&A session with us, Sierra Leoneans. This is just a cross session. We have a lot of Sierra Leoneans. Maybe we're coming along. So on that note, let me welcome our ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Sidikie Abubakar. So thank you, Ambassador White, and of course thank you, Mayor Kitkuscoli, for giving us this opportunity for us to be here this evening on the Sunday evening, which Ambassador White alluded to yesterday in his keynote address about the quality of leadership, that you have servant leader. And you have demonstrated that to us by a quick response, which was more than less than a week, and you made it available, this precious council meeting, or available to us, the Leoneans. So thank you for that. Majority of the Sierra Leoneans here, Mayor, we resided in Shoreline. We make our living in Shoreline. And so we are grateful for what Shoreline has done to the Sierra Leone population community here. Thank you for that. So we're going to call the meeting to order. And in our country, we have religious tolerance. We believe in Christianity and, of course, Muslim. And so, on that note, I just want us to have a silent of prayer in our irrespective denominations, and then we can start the meeting proper. Amen and amen. So, let me welcome our Mayor Kitkuscoli. Let me give you a little bit of background history of Mayor because it ties into what we Sierra Leoneans believe in. And I am privileged to have lived in New York, and of course, I read your biography, went to NYU, New York City Law School. And of course, our ambassador also have lived in New York for his whole entire life until when he was appointed as ambassador. So Mayor Kitkuscoli was elected to the council in 2005, and in 2019 was the deputy mayor. In 2020 and 2022, of course, your time is going to expire. I don't know if you're going to seek an election, which we can definitely wait for you. So, Mayor is an attorney and currently practicing law in Seattle, focused on intellectual property. Before that, our mayor spent several years in King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office before joining the United Nations. There he prosecuted war crimes in The Hague for the International Criminal Tribunals for the former Yugoslavia. Our mayor is a former board of member of King County Conservative Voters, an environmental community political arm, and the legal director of Fisher-Wise, a non-profit dedicated to responsible land use. Mayor served on the City Council Planning Commission in 2012 to 2015. He was elected as the Commissioner Chair in 2014. Mayor lives in Puget Sound since 1998. Our mayor, his wife Sarah, has 4 children, and they live in Richmond Beach area, which is just down there. Mayor holds a bachelor's degree in history from the University of California, Los Angeles, and a master from Tufts University, and a law degree from New York University of Law. We in New York, when we live in New York, we call it NYU. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. And like I said, we have commonalities. We have civil war in our country, and that civil war also was so bad that the international community ended up being there, and there was a Truth and Reconciliation Committee that was set up, and people were prosecuted. So you have that keen interest in prosecuting because you believe in the law, you believe in human rights, you believe in equal justice. And so we Shoreliners will also have that passionate belief. So we share that shared belief with what you hold dearly to your heart. So on that note, let me welcome our mayor to give an opening remarks. And maybe this is a partnership that will start growing. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much for the introduction. It is truly an honor to welcome you all here to City Hall, particularly His Excellency Ambassador Leone. So I wanted to say just a couple of words, and when I first found out that this event was going to take place, I immediately started researching Sierra Leone. I mean, I knew some about it, of course, and what struck me is, I mean, Freetown looks to be a beautiful place with amazing beaches. You have fantastic art and culture. But what struck me is, what I read over and over, and what I've had the honor of hearing from people I know well, is that one of the best parts about Sierra Leone is its people. And the African diaspora undoubtedly hurt Sierra Leone because it lost amazing folks, but we gained, right? Our country is so much richer, and Shoreline is so much richer from having a variety of cultures in it. And I'm pleased to welcome people from Texas, and also I understand someone who lives 2 blocks that way, which is even better. It's an honor to welcome all of you here, and I hope this is not the last time I see those of you who live here in Shoreline. I think Shoreline has a lot to offer each of our communities. We have become something we historically weren't always, and that is a welcoming place that honors each culture, that respects the fact that the cultures are going to hold their identity and have their unique traditions, but that we are also one community made stronger because we interact with each other and share those traditions whenever possible. That was not the history of Shoreline, but that is certainly the focus of government today. And I hope soon to see Councilmember Pobi, who's an immigrant from Ghana. Yes.
Mayor, I heard from Councilmember Pobi he will be unable to attend.
Okay. Family emergency. Okay. In event, I wanted to work with someone from Ghana who has enlightened me a lot on things, and he will often, he has a finance background, and he will talk about deep finance, and then in with an African proverb, and we're all like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I never would have thought that. The council is so much richer for having Councilmember Pobi on it, as well as those of us from the rest of the cultures. But mostly we're enriched by having all of you here, and I'm looking forward to getting to know each of you better, and I'm looking very much to Ambassador Leone's remarks. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Spirit, for such a remarkable input and quick view of Sierra Leone, going in there and studying and know how our folks are and what we believe in and what, like I told you, Shoreline has offered to all of us here. Because the cross-section of us here as Leoneans actually live and work in Shoreline. And so we are grateful for that opportunity accorded to us, and we hope, it's our fervent hope that we will continue this partnership, because this is a great opportunity for us Leoneans that we've never, few of us have engaged in politics here at local level, but majority of us have never done it, and this is an opportunity that we will cherish and maybe start that conversation in our community. So thank you, Mayor, for giving us this opportunity for us to be here. So moving along with the agenda, I spoke to Mayor and Representative Cindy. You were supposed to be here, and apparently she got injured, so she couldn't. I've heard about Representative Cindy since I moved into Seattle 2004. And so she has been on the council, various positions on the council until now she's a state representative. And so that is how doable that fortitude about public service has been. And I hope all of us here will emulate that and move forward. So thank you so much for hosting us. At this juncture, I would like to call on the cross-section of Leoneans here. We have multiple organizations, and we believe in diversity. We believe in common union of opportunity, growth, and expansion in our lives. And so we have an umbrella organization here that's the Pacific Northwest. And I would just want to call, if the president is not here, maybe the representative, to just give us a little introduction of what that organization looks like. And then we'll continue. We have the Shoreline Pacific Northwest, Molema, of course, Salon Connect. And so give you a little introspections of what those organizations are doing here and how we can be able to partner and maybe use more of the local government and of course the state resources to better and advance ourselves in this community. So let me see if the president is not here. Mr. S.B. Mansari, can you come up and just give us a little synopsis of the Pacific Northwest? Thank you, Mr. S.B. Mansari.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kakai. Your Excellency, it's really a privilege for us Leoneans to see you here in our midst. And we want to thank the Mayor of Shoreline. Like he said, most of us worked and lived in Shoreline. Right now I live in Sidikie, but I used to live in Shoreline and I worked in Shoreline. So thank you very much for what you're doing here in this city and for hosting us. So the president for the Sierra Leone Pacific Northwest in Washington State, he is not here tonight, and the vice is not here either. So I happen to be here. I'm one of the executive. I'm the treasurer for that organization. And it's really an organization that represents all Sierra Leoneans that live in Washington State. We come together and try to support each other in various ways. And so we're really happy that you guys are able to put this together and have His Excellency be here, and we actually see him and interact with him. So thank you very much. I don't really have much to say because I didn't have a word with the president or the vice as far as what I was supposed to say. So this is impromptu, and I'm just kind of saying, yes, we are here and we are part of, we are the bigger community, and we have other smaller organizations which are also represented by Sierra Leoneans, a cross-section of Sierra Leoneans. So thank you, and I'm happy to be here, and whatever it is I take out of this meeting today, I'll make sure to pass it along to the other executive members of my Sierra Leone Pacific Northwest organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. S.B. Mansari. It was not my intention to really put you on the spot, but I look at your capacity and your willingness to always be called upon to services, and you're always there to deliver. So thank you. So in a nutshell, Pacific Northwest is the parent umbrella of all the different organizations that we have. We also have our sisters from Canada. Can you guys just stand up so that the mayor and the ambassador can be able to recognize you guys? We need to. So thank you, the president, Tiskumba, and few of executive members from Canada, Vancouver, Canada. We have a Mulema organization. Mulema organization is a non-profit organization headed by me, and we formed that organization in 2017 with the hope of fostering development, a shared commitment and understanding that if we can be able to develop ourselves here, we can turn that into something to be able to develop back home. And so for the past few years, we have been able to construct water wells, sanitation facilities, and providing medical supplies to key hospitals in Sierra Leone, PCHH, which is the biggest maternity hospital in Freetown, and of course hospital in Bo and in Tujo. Those are in the southern province. And those are all from our collective responsibility. We haven't have any donor funded. And so maybe this might be an opportunity for us to actually engage at community level and be able to see how best we can be partner, have that partnership and network and be able to move on as much as possible. So that is what Mulema is about. And I have a few of my executive members, and if you can just stand up so that you can be recognized by the mayor and of course our Lordship, the Ambassador White. So we have Janet. Janet is our treasurer, our financial treasurer, social services. We have Mr. P.E. P.E. is responsible for coordinating all our finances. And we have our script, which is Mr. Fatuma, responsible for taking the minutes and making sure that we are in line with all documentations that we need to do. So thank you, Mr. Fatuma. So today is a town hall. And what is town hall? A town hall is a meeting wherein we can be able to interact with one another, get engaged in either if it's going to be our elective representative. And tonight, we are here for the first time in the history of Pacific Northwest, engaging with our ambassador. And our ambassador is going to give us the policy statement from the government, and we are going to have that responsibility to ask him questions and engage in a very constructive dialogue and debate. And so I'm hopeful. And I believe in our ambassador's intellect, that he's ready to give us those challenging questions and answers. And so on that note, I'll call Mr. P.E. to come and introduce our ambassador to the community. Mr. P.E.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel, for hosting us here. Briefly, let me just share some background, like very brief background actually, of our ambassador. He's been in the US for over 35 years, for those of you who do not know him, and he lived for most of his life in New York. For us Iranian folks here, the ambassador has been very supportive to the US and the Israeli community. And that something I discovered recently about him that I never knew was even affiliated to Israel. That's the body cam that the police force use in the US here. He is the brain behind that. When he was working in the New York Police Department. Other than that, his support to Israel has been really tremendous. During the war, he was able to pull some strings here to negotiate the release of some captives, some Israelis that were in captivity behind the rebel, the front line. Also during the Ebola epidemic, the pandemic actually, Israel, he was able to mobilize resources here in the United States. He raised up to $1 billion to support the post-Ebola recovery Israel. He has also worked He has also made valuable contribution to the United States Department of Homeland Security policies on addressing official public safety issues affecting migrant population in the United States. So I don't want to go into the details of his profile. If you look at the Sierra Leone Embassy website, you'll find most of the information I'm sharing. So with that, it's an honor for me to present you our ambassador.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let me start by thanking the distinguished mayor, the honorable mayor of Shoreline, for actually being a part of our country's history. I should say that this is the first time I was told by my community that a sitting ambassador accredited to the United States ever visited this shoreline. And this is also the first time that our community is holding an event here, and thanks to the mayor. Maybe the mayor might not know, but we crossed paths. I went to the graduate school, New York University Graduate School of Public Administration then, and I actually worked in the law school as an admission processor during when I was in the graduate school as an admission processor. So me and him have something in common. So I know that Sierra Leone is no longer a stranger to this place.
Thank you for letting me in.
Let me also recognize the presence of our distinguished former chairman, Mr. Mohammed Back on the back. Chairman Back, that he is also an implant from New York to Shoreline. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Honorable Mayor. And let me thank the organizers of this event tonight, my sisters who traveled all the way from Canada. And I have a little secret. The Canadians have always blamed me for not going to Canada, but now I came to Shoreline. You better believe it, I'm going to be going to Canada before you throw me out of this country. So really thank all of you for really taking time to be here today. Like the MC Master of Ceremony said, this is a competition. A town hall is a town hall. You're not here to hear me, but you're here to learn a little bit about what our government is doing. Let me share that, because there are a lot of people here who may have some very, very pointed questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be bashful, because government is only as good as the people it serves. And I know the mayor will tell you that. So let me tell you a little bit about, because I can't go too much, because people might want to know, where is Sierra Leone today? Where are we going? What have we accomplished? There's too many. Over the past 5 years, the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, under our president, re-elected president, Dr. Julius Mahabiu, started with a major human capital development agenda. Because in the president's view, you cannot educate someone if they're hungry. And you cannot develop a country if they are not literate. So his signature project was education. Because if I can be bold enough to state in here, every single person in this room went to school or has been in school or have graduated. And that is the way that you are really going to move people from poverty to opportunities. So that initiative has been central to the president. Mr. Mayor, maybe this might be small, but in our country, our families, parents in our country, the mothers and the fathers were not able to send their kids to school because the tuition was $20, for $20. And those young men and women, school-age going children, their parents could not afford it. So the president, in his infinite wisdom, said, we have to have a literate society, and that $20 that was a condition for people not sending their kids to school, I, as a government, we're going to wipe that out. So that increase the level of our kids participating in education. And for that matter, our country now became the standard bearer for promoting education in all of Africa. President Bio has gotten awards, and if you all know Dr. Senga, David Senga has presented, I think he was here, I was told, went to Harvard, MIT. He won some of the biggest global awards in education. And Sierra Leone, before even all of this, many people in this room, our country, we were called the Athens of Africa. And most of the nationalist leaders in Africa went to study there. And today, that question of academic excellence is beginning to rebound. So that is one thing that was part of this human capital development. And the second and most significant part of this is the question of we used to feed, we used to grow. Agriculture was central in our country. We never used to buy rice. Today, or over the past years, we spend almost close to $200 million per year to just buy rice. Rice that we used to grow, and we have every land. And Mr. Mayor, if you have so anybody that's here or people that want to invest in agriculture, we're ready. Shoreline is open for business. So agriculture now, come this Tuesday or next week, the president is unveiling a major initiative called Feed Salon. And guess what? They are launching that program where my cousin and I come from, your district. So be ready. Your district is going to be the central focus of feeding Sierra Leone. And that is improving our Now, let me also put this. Sierra Leone has now become in the nation, in the club of progressives. For the first time in the history of our country, we have the largest population of female elected parliamentarians in the history of Sierra Leone. Let me give you the figures. women lawmakers now account for 30.4% of all the elected seats in parliament. I don't know of many countries around the world, maybe Uganda, or maybe Rwanda and things like that, but we are on the cutting edge of that. And these women MPs, and here's the good thing, those women MPs, there was always this thinking that the diaspora, they were blocking, they couldn't get involved and get elected to parliament. Well, guess what? This year, there are 5 members of the diaspora in the world that are members of parliament. And what I said, well, don't quote me on this, but this is just my idea, because I've been living here as a diaspora most of my adult life. I said, wait a minute. I think I'm going to start a revolution here. And that revolution is, we're going to make a recommendation from the diaspora that there should be a Minister of Diaspora Affairs in the Republic of Sierra Leone. A cabinet member. Not a director, a minister who will submit a cabinet paper, because I can tell you one of your biggest supporters of our country in the government of Sierra Leone is our president. Because he says, and rightfully so, he said people always talk about them just come. Just come means you just arrive. That's in the one person. He says, who is the breadbasket? The largest foreign policy, foreign aid anywhere in Sierra Leone is from the American diaspora. Yeah. So when people are talking about other stuff, let me now talk about what has happened since June 24th elections. There has been issues with election integrity, election rigging. But guess what? Our Constitution mandates 2 important factors. Just like the United States, they're having their own, we're having our own problems here. But thank God there are courts. So the Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone is very clear that if you feel you're an aggrieved party in an election, you have 7 days to petition in the courts. From the 24th of June to now, I'm sure anybody can count here. No one lawsuit has been filed, and of course, I think the mayor will appreciate it, because being a lawyer, they like fight in court. Nobody wants to file any papers in court. So that meant, and in Sierra Leone history, of course, I used to be a citizen of this country. I ran for office, the second highest office in New York City, public advocate. I had 14,000 votes. No African in New York history has ever done that. And I'm saying this to say something. And that is what I think the mayor mentioned. You cannot be in Shoreline, this city, this state, and not be a part of this state. Put up your hands. How many people have visited City Hall before today? Put up your hand. That's 1, 2, 3. And those who have, this is their first time, put up your hand, all of them. Well, you see my point? Right. Well, you know what the mayor said to me outside? He said, we have programs here. He said, I hope this will not be the first and last time. How many of you are citizens here? Put up your hands. You see? there's a 2024 election coming to the United States. Guess what? I don't know about the mayor, but the mayor is going to be knocking on your door to vote for a candidate of his choice. I'm not going to ask which party he's from, but it is important. Civic duties, civic activities. Like he's going to be running for re-election. He's your friend. You know what they do? There's getting out the vote. There's phone banks. There's fundraising. It's just, he might do some big events. You just showing up, picking up your phone, calling your friends to say, hey, vote for our friend. Let me see all of those in Shoreline who are going to vote for my friend.
I am running unopposed, so I'm going to win this.
Yes, good.
That tells you something. But so, I am hoping and praying and really urging you. He has opened this place to you. Let it not be just because the ambassador is coming here.
Right.
That this is your first and last time. There are many people here, Mr. Mayor. Some of them are doing great things in their country. And there are things that you will collaborate with them. There are programs here. I met a very wonderful lady today, and so I asked her, what do you do here? She says, I have an orphanage. I said, who knows about it? He says, I'm doing it in my country. I said, do they know about it here? Do you have an orphanage here? It's about the mirror. If you don't see yourself in the mirror, you're not happening. You can't have an orphanage in Shoreline and there's no orphanage in Shoreline. And guess what? If you create an orphanage in Shoreline, there might be programs and activities that you can work with government and to be a part of. So those are just things that somebody. And then, let me don't bore you all because this is supposed to be. Now, the idea around the election, I talked about it briefly. The people did not go to court. Parliament is in session. They sworn in the president. Parliamentarians are sitting. On Wednesday, there is some parliamentarians who refuse to take their seats in Parliament. So now, there's going to be a dialogue to bring people together. Because if somebody elects you, you are elected to represent them. And if you don't go and represent them, the Constitution is also very clear on that. I remember somebody had a very big joke. It was this guy that had, in Shoreline, he had this thing. He says, I heard that some parliamentarians don't want to go to Parliament. He says, let them leave. I will go take their seats. Because I need it all. So, now, I understand also in our priorities, these 5 items, technology is one of the most critical things that our country is looking for, areas of investment. You have Elon Musk here, you have the Bill Gates. This is a tech industry. This is a tech state. I would just urge those of you who are here, when you come to meet with the mayor, have some things to bring to the mayor. Find out what is it that he wants to do. And thank God, he's not running for re-election. I mean, he's running unopposed.
Right.
So he's guaranteed to be in that position for another, is it 4 years, Mr. Mayor? Well, guess what? 4 years is a lot of time in the United States.
Right.
And if I can leave here with anything else, I am going to be a friend of this mayor. And I'm going to ask the mayor, even though he's not running for anything, I said, Mr. Mayor, did that African community, the leadership, all of them, did they ever come to visit you again, to sit down with concept papers, with ideas, to see how they could work and support Shoreline? Let me go one or two things, and then I will sit down and shut up, and then you can ask your question. Our country has minerals because we were known in the country, in the world. If you remember those people who have seized blood diamonds, it was Sierra Leone that was done. And we are endowed with tremendous amount of natural resources. And here is what, under this dynamic president, our president has done. In the past, I am not kidding here, I'm talking straightforwardly. There used to be contracts signed for 99.99 years.
Wow.
For minerals, for such sector industries. The president says, we can't be signing 90 contracts for 99.9 years, and then the people who are going to be displaced, they're going to be destroying their roads, and then these people come, they just take and then leave. So now Sierra Leone is changing that trajectory, and you're going to have to put premium. When you establish your mineral resources in the country, don't you go to the hospital if you get sick? So you gotta invest in hospitals. Don't your kids go to school? You gotta invest in schools. How about the road? How do you even get to that place? Infrastructure is one. And the good news is, ladies and gentlemen, under this brilliant initiative of the president, guess what? Railway is coming back to Sierra Leone. So,
Good news.
the other point is, which is critical, by the year 2050, you could help me, Kaka, on that one. The largest population of people on earth are going to be the young people. Let me repeat that. The largest population in the world are going to be young people, the youths. If you all saw what happened in the Arab Spring, it caused a lot of problems. But Africa now has realized that we need to be in front of this. So there is an active commitment on the part of our government to invest in youths. There's a youth ministry, an active youth ministry, and you will see a lot of the ministers in cabinet today, a lot of them are under 35. So let me try to stop there to say those 5 pillars of our country are extremely essential. And I have to say this before I take my seat. Now, Mr. Mayor, Shoreline is a city. Sierra Leone has several cities. We have Bo, we have Kenema, we have Pujao, we have Freetown, and I always say, with no disrespect, Freetown is not Sierra Leone. There are other places in our country. So we would like to explore, from a government perspective, a sister-to-sister relationship between the city of Shoreline and one of our cities in Sierra Leone.
Good.
And I can tell you when I lived in New York City, when the president came in September, we facilitated a meeting between the mayor of the city of New York. We met with the Economic Development, Investment and Trade, and the mayor of the city of New York hosted President Julius Maada Bio during his visit, and we are now working towards the establishment of an MOU to promote investment and trade with the EDC, which is the Economic Development Corporation of the City of Leone. So I think I have talked enough, but I'm going to now say again to our incredible MC, Mr. Kakai, thank you very much. And then for our host, the great mayor of Shoreline, I hope this will not be my last visit. And I hope if there are areas of public safety that I could be helpful, I would like to come and make a speech, if that is possible. But definitely, Mr. Mayor, we look forward to promoting this relationship between the Sierra Leone nationals here and Shoreline, because many of them are your voters, many of them are contributing to the tax base in this country and in this city. And I think for a wise and a very brilliant politician like yourself, you invest in human capital. Again, I thank you.
Ambassador White, I was amazed and impressed about the programs you highlighted and the whole idea of fostering partnership. I believe in networking and partnership, and I believe this is our initial stage of that with the City of Shoreline. And I live in Everett, but I think the mayor is going to be seeing me more often here than everything, because what I am today, like I said, emanated from Shoreline here. So thank you for the hospitality. And of course, our eloquent and dynamic ambassador for giving us an introspection of what the government has done, what they intend to do, and what that progress looks like. So now is the town hall. It's a Q&A session. And I'm looking forward for us to engage not only